Thunder Dragon tutorial. So we're going to go over what everything does, your Thunder Dragons, and yeah, we're going to go over how to play this deck. I'm going to show you some turn 2 setups and turn 1 setups. Alright, so let's go over them. Alright. So yeah. Alright, we're going to start out with... Also, before we go over this, a huge shout out to YG Omega for letting us use their program to make video content. This game is still in beta mode, so if you see any errors, please note it's in beta mode, but we love the game. Alright, so we're going to go over your 3 basic ones. Your Roar, your Hawk, and your Dark. Alright, what you need to know, before we even go with them, each of your basic Thunder Dragons, these 3, have 2 different effects. They have an effect that activates in the hand, and one that activates when sent to the graveyard or banished. Okay? So, those effects of your Thunder Dragons, you can only activate one of those effects per turn, and only once that turn. So that means if I use the hand effect, I can't use the graveyard effect. If I use the graveyard effect, I cannot use the hand effect. Okay? So, let's start by going over Thunder Dragon Hawk. Okay? So, Hawk reoccurs, is your reoccur. So, what he does is, in hand, he allows us to discard a card. You could special summon one of your Thunder Dragon monsters from your graveyard or banished. Okay? So, you could special summon your Dark, your Roar. You can't summon a Hawk, except for Dragon Hawk. You could summon a Duo, as long as it's been properly summoned first. And when I say properly summoned, I mean you have to special summon to the field by its original summoning conditions first, and then you can go forward with that. Okay? You can go forward resummoning the Duo. Now, it has a second effect, which makes it really, really good. Okay? So, its second effect says that if this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can shuffle any amount of cards from your hand into your deck, then draw the same amount of cards. You can only use one Thunder Dragon Hawk effect per turn, and only once that turn. So like before, I told you, you can only use these 3, one of their effects per turn. Okay? So this applies for these 3. Okay? So, Hawk is your reoccurrent. You're going to use him to bring back your Thunder Dragons and combo with. Sets up for your Exceeds. Now, next we're going to go over Thunder Dragon Roar. So Roar's hand effect allows you to add any of your Thunder Dragons that is in the banished zone or graveyard. Also, except for himself. Can't add himself. And the banished and graveyard effect, when it's sent there, you can special summon a Thunder Dragon monster from your deck of defense, but return it to the hand during the end phase. Both of these effects, you can only activate one of these effects per turn, like I said before. This is a very powerful effect, especially if you're able to banish it. And there are many ways you're going to be able to do that in this deck, but you being able to tutor out a Thunder Dragon to help liven up your Exceeds plays, very good. And the reoccursion, really good. So definitely 2 of these. You may say, Sean, well, if it's so good, why not play 3? Because you'll brick with it. Alright. Next, and definitely last, but definitely not least of the 3, is Thunder Dragon Dark. So what Dark allows us to do is in hand, it has an effect. That quick effect during your opponent's turn it can activate too. So this is spell speed 2. You can discard this card, add 1 Thunder Dragon Dark from your deck to your hand. Okay, so this helps your deck then. Also, if this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand, except Dark. You can only use 1 Dark effect per turn. Alright, so you're going to use this to search Roar, Hawk, Duo. Any of those count. You could also use this, but I highly recommend you don't. We have this in Duel Links as well. Is Discharge. We don't have any of these, but we do have Discharge. Discharge is incredibly powerful. Well, it's not incredibly powerful. Excuse me. Ignore that. It's not incredibly powerful, but it can be used as a tech to blow up back row, like a Necro Valley, but we don't generally play it, but it is searchable because it says card. Alright, now, you're probably saying, well great, now I know what these Thunder Dragons do. How do I get the plays off? Okay, let's talk about your main play starters here. We have 3. First play starter is Aloof Lupine. This is going to be your main play starter, and this card is amazing. When this card is normal summon, you can banish 1 monster from your hand, banish 1 monster from the deck with the same type as the monster. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if it's an owner's possession, destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can target one of your banished monsters and add it to your hand. Now, note this says any banished monster. So you can even add cards like your Chaos Dragon Levianeer and your Charge of the Light Brigade and your Raidens. Also, Duo as well. Now, Aloof Lupine can banish any of your Thunder Dragons here. Your Duo, your Hawk, your Roar, and your Dark. Now, because they are all the same type, you are able to banish another one. So, for example, with a different name, or the same name. So if I was to summon Lupine, I'd banish a Dark, banish a Roar. Now remember what I told you before. Now that you have these things getting banished or sent to the graveyard, you can use those effects. So Dark will add a Thunder Dragon to the hand from your deck, and Roar will special summon one. Okay? And the monster you add to your hand, if you search a Hawk, you can level dupe into one of your Exceeds. Very, very good. Also, you decide to keep Lupine on the field, it dies, reoccur. You banish that Roar, it dies, you get it back. Or you get back your Dark and deck then. Very, very good. What are your main play starters? Next is Charge of the Light Brigade. This card is very simple. Simple 3-card text here. Send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard and have 1 level 4 lower Light Swarm from your deck to your hand. This searches Raiden, puts Thunder Dragons in your graveyard for your Duo and your main boss monster, which we're going to go over in a second. Next is Raiden, Hand of the Light Sworn. Very simple. During your main phase, you send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and if any Light Sworn monsters were sent by this effect, it gains 200 attack. Also, during the end phase, you mill additional 2. Alright, so this helps facilitate Thunder Dragon plays. Also, it helps spot up your main boss monsters, which we are going to go over right now. Now, the one Thunder Dragon we didn't discard is Duo, and this card's about, is an odd one of the bunch. Not like the other 3, you can use its effects multiple times in a turn, and this card is very good. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be first special summoned. Now, first, I don't know how many people have played the TCG, but this has the same clause as some of the other boss monsters in the game, like Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 light and 1 dark monster from your graveyard. Now, as far as chain order and in some advanced plays, if you banish the light and the dark, your Hawk is going to go as chain link 1 in this sense. So you can't chain block in this sense your dark, which is kind of stinks, but that's how it works. Also, your Duo has 2 more effects. So you summon it, it's a 2800 body. Now remember, we talked about this earlier. If it's been properly summoned, you could, like, by its initial condition, which is banishing a light and a dark, then when it's destroyed or sent to the graveyard or banished, revive it with a Hawk. Very good. Once per turn, if a monster effect is activated in the hand, it gains 300 attack until the end of the turn. Okay, that gets you over a Blue Eyes White Dragon. That gets you over a defense position Spirit Dragon or Azure Eyes. Also, very good. This card gains 300 attack. So, this is the final. These are the final 2 other effects. So you have 2 more effects. Isn't that cool? You can banish when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle. You can banish 1 card from your graveyard and 1 Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. That can banish your Thunder Dragon effects, Dark, your Roar, and a Hawk. Trigger them. Also, you can banish other cards in your grave that you may want to recur later. And we're going to talk about how you're going to do that. So, you could do it with Lupine or this. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can target one of your banished cards, place it on the top or bottom of your deck. This helps with not decking out, and it also helps reoccur staples like your Chaos Dragon Levianeer, your Hawks, your Roars, and yeah, maybe even a Lupine. Alright? And your Synchros and your Exceeds. That can work too. Now, the main juggernaut in this deck we're going to go over right now. And this is what makes the deck really go insane. Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Chaos Dragon Levianeer is an incredibly powerful boss monster. And it says cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be first special summon. Now remember, it says first, so you can bring this thing back later. Unfortunately, there's really no way to revive it in the deck, but you can. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 light and or dark monsters. So, if you banish a combination of any light and darks, so that could be Hawk, 1 Hawk, 2 Aurora in the dark. It could be 2 Hawks, a dark. It could be 3 darks. It could be 2 Raws and a dark, Aurora Lupine and a dark, another dark. You can even banish, you get the point. So, what makes this card absolutely amazing is it triggers your Thunder Dragon effects, A. And second is you can, when summoned this way, you can apply the effect based on the attribute of monsters used for the special summon. If you use only light monsters to summon this, so like if you banish 2 Orcs and a Raiden, you can special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense. Pretty good effect. Only dark, shuffle 1 random card from your opponent's hand back to the deck. Very good turn 1 effect, which you will see in the tutorial. Both light and dark destroy up to 2 cards in the field. So you get to pop 2 of your opponent's cards. Very good play starter. Very, very good. So that's very important. And also, I forgot to throw another card in this deck as well, which we got to go over. Okay. Final card to go over is Melody the Awakening Dragon, as far as the main deck. Simple, discard 1 card after 2 monsters for 3,000 or more. Attack and 2,500 or less defense to your hand. So you're searching Levianeer. 3,000, 0. Very good. Now, the Exceeds. This is what makes this deck pop. Erratic Dragon, Sun Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis. Alright? So what this card does is it requires 2 level 8 monsters. You Exceed summon it. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card. Tribute any amount of monsters from your hand or side of the field, minimum 1. Then destroy an equal amount of cards on the field. So you contribute Thunder Dragons. They will get their effects. Okay? Because they are getting sent to the grave. Only if you trigger them on the field, though. If you tribute them on the field, they will get their effects. And then pop non-target. So what do I mean by non-target by Levianeer and Erratic? Okay, so both of these non-target. That means your opponent must immediately respond to the effect. If they do not, then their cards get destroyed instantly. They do not know what you're going to destroy, so they have to respond immediately. Now next, this card is extremely important. You only need 1 of it, but it is very good. Alright? It is a very good turn 1 play against decks like Noble Knights and the Mirror Match. Force Focus is 2 level 6. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Target 1 level 5 or higher effect monster your opponent controls. Negate those effects until the end of the turn. Give me 1 second. Okay. So you can use this to negate Madrot. Why? Because Madrot becomes level 5. Boys, why? It becomes level 5. That slows them down immensely. What does this thing do? Well, it negates Levianeer in the Mirror Match. Very good. And if they run singles, you can negate those too. Very, very good. Okay? So staple at 1. It's also good against Cyber Dragon because you can negate their Rampage and then they can't send from the deck to the grave. Next card is another staple. It's Constellar Plotomy M7. Okay, it requires 2 level 6 monsters. You can also, you're not going to use the first effect. You can summon this by overlaying a Constellar monster, this to a Constellar, but that's not important. What makes this thing really good is its second effect. Here. Okay, once per turn, you can detach 1 exterior material from this card. Then target 1 monster on the field or in either player's graveyard or return it to the hand. You can return Levianeer from your graveyard to your hand. So if you mill it off a Light Brigade, there you go. You can also return Hawk, Roar, any of your cards that you happen to mill back to your hand. Also bounce opponent's monsters that you do not want them to have in their deck. In their graveyard. So maybe you want to bounce the Stone of Ancients. Somehow it's there. You can even bounce it from their graveyard. You can target monsters in their graveyard as well. And you can bounce the Stony Ancients back to the hand. Very good. Or you can bounce a Blue Eyes back to the hand. Maybe you want to do that. Or recur. Either way, the options are there. Even a Desperado back to the hand. Now, this is Gaia the Dragon, Thunder Charger. This allows you to exceed it by overlaying a 5 or a 6. So, your Force Focus or Plotomy. And it just does piercing damage. Still good, though. Next, this card's another good tech in the deck. It's number 68, Sanafont, the Sky Prison. 2 level 8s, overlay it. Gains 100 attack and defense for each monster in both players' graves. So at 2700 defense, it's going to get big pretty fast. Second effect, once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Till the end your opponent's next turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard. So if you go against Fire Kings, you can stop them from summoning Garunix. Also against Blackwings, they can't summon Zeph. Or use Hawkjaw. Okay, so very, very good. Alright, so Vermilion is our first synchro we're going to talk about. Ah, crap, come on. Alright, give me 1 second. Oh, no. There we go. 1 tuner plus 1 on tuners, generic, level 9. Once per turn, you banish 1 tuner from your hand or graveyard. Target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Very good. If the Synchro Summon card is destroyed by card effect, it's sent to the grave. Target a banish tuner hand to your hand. So, Writing and Dark make it. Writing's a 4, Dark's a 5. So, Vermilion, pop the card in the field. If it's destroyed by card effect, reoccur the Writing. Very good. Or if you're running Glow Bulb and you banish that, you can reoccur to it. Now, last but not least is Onimaru. Just the generic, and you're using this because it cannot be destroyed by card effect. You make this Raiden Duo, Raiden Levianeer. Okay, so good in certain matchups. Alright, to the tutorial. Alright, so give me 1 second. Alright, so now we're going to go second first. I'm going to show you the power of this deck going second. Alright, so you can see over here, level duplication is already set. Alright. No, we're not going to activate our effect yet. By the way, this no means toggle off. Legal means toggle to auto, and all means toggle on. So we're going to change to toggle on. So it's going to prompt me at every state of the game now. We're going to switch back to auto. And we're going to activate Dark's in hand effect. Remember, if we activate this on our turn, we can't go to the grave. Alright, we see our Levianeer. Remember, I told you this is the big boy, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to activate... there's so many ways we can go about this here. Okay, I think we'll start by normal summoning a Raiden in this case. Raiden on summon will mill 2. Okay, now we have a dark and 2 darks and a light. So since we have 3 monsters of a culmination, we can summon Levianeer. So Levianeer on summon will attempt to banish, and because we banish Dark, we can trigger its effect, as I discussed in the opener. Now, he can't respond to this, so we could just target 2 cards and destroy them. He would have to respond initial Levianeer, and he did. So we non-target. Now, we already have a Hawk in hand, so we'll just grab a Roar. Okay, Duo is also banished. Keep this in mind. Now, we have the optional level dupe here, which we are going to take advantage of, and I'm going to show you why. We're going to activate Thunder Dragon Roar's in hand effect to add back the Duo from the Banish Zone to the hand. We're going to reveal level dupe. And we're going to level dupe our Raiden to the Duo. We're going to make it an 8. Confirm. And now it becomes a level 8. So now we can go into our Heliopolis. By overlaying our 2 level 8 monsters. Confirm. Summon in here. Heliopolis' effect can now activate. So we contribute the Lupine that's in our hand. What do we have, a dark in the grave? Okay, so we're going to do it this way. Tribute 2 darks. Here. Just pop. and then non-target destroy. Now we have a Dark in the Light, so we can go ahead and special summon our duo properly, so we can revive it later. Now remember, we can't use Roar's or Dark's effect, because we already applied their effects this turn. One of their effects, so we're going to banish just a Raiden and a Lupine. Summon this. But we did not use Hawk's effect, so Hawk could go ahead and revive the Roar. To battle phase. We did all that after a Lupine mill, and we went into our Levineer, and this started all of it. So that's a GG. Okay, very good. We're going to rematch, and this time we're going to go first. Okay, so first things first here, and this may sound very crazy. When you open up double charge Levineer Melody, first things first, we're going to discard the Levineer. And the reason why is because we don't really want to lose Light Brigade, because that could start us up here. We're going to activate Charge of the Light Brigade, milling 3 to add a Light Sworn. Check what you milled. So we're just going to click on the grave. Okay. We're going to charge again. Alright, so we milled a Roar. That's very ideal. And there's a reason why we charge twice here. We're going to activate our Levineer, and we're going to banish 3 Darks. So, Roar, Dark, Lupine. And the reason why is now we get to rip a card out of our opponent's hand. So it's kind of like they're going first now. As far as hand advantage is concerned. Roar and Dark get to trigger because they were banished. And yes, we will activate the effect of our Chaos Dragon Levineer, randomly shuffling 1 card back into our opponent's deck. So the card effect we did not use yet is the Hawk. And then we can go ahead and special summon a Roar. Now, if we were going up against Noble Knight, we can follow this one up very easily by summoning a Raiden. We will not mill here because we have plenty of Dark and Light targets in the graveyard. But instead, what we'll do is we'll reveal level duplication. Go, make you a 6, and then we can go right into our Force Focus. Confirm. So if you went up against Noble Knights, very good turn 1 field. You now have a follow-up into a Vermilion and a Levineer. So we just pass. You took a card out of potentially your opponent's hand, and then you were able to do even more crazy shenanigans. Alright, in this case we will negate. Detach the Roar. So that way you have a Roar follow-up. Gonna negate here. If that was a mid-drop, we'd be able to negate. Also against Sidra, very good turn 1 play. Alright. Pretend our opponent scoops here. Now it's our turn. We can optionally Levineer again, so let's do so. We're going to banish a Light and a Dark and another Dark here. We'll keep Levineer in the grave. Just so that way we have fodder to add it back for a plot of me play. Yep, we will activate Dark. We will not activate Hawk. Yes, we will activate our Levineer. No, we will not activate Hawk. We're going to pop up. He's going to Floodgate. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to pop our own Levineer. We'll confirm. And we will search a duo. Now we have more fodder. We do not have a Light in the graveyard, unfortunately. But that's completely fine. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Oopsie. Oh, I don't want to reveal the material. Okay, so we're going to tribute. Going to go ahead and special. Can banish the Levineer now. That's fine. Okay. Banish that. Now, we're going to exceed for BM into Sanifod. Because we are a BMM artist. There are other options to do there, but we're just BMing at this point because we know we got game. Theoretically should activate its effect, but it's completely fine there. Very good. Trying to show you a Lupine play, so we're going to go first again. No, that's still not the play I'm looking for, but okay. So first things first, melody it up. In this case, we're going to toss Levineer again. Search 2 more. Gonna normal summon the Raiden. And mill for 2. Okay. Again, we can still turn 1 Levianeer. Need 3 Darks. Gonna rip a card out of our opponent's hand. Very similar to the first play, but this time we didn't open up charge. Dark's effect, and yes, we will trigger Levianeer. Shuffle a card back, and we will add a Hawk. Okay? So now what we're going to do is, we do not have a Roar. So very fortunately we can't level dupe here. But that's fine. In this case, I'd probably just pass turn. We really want a Hawk in the grave there to do that, so we'll just pass turn. Or we can go into Onimaru if we wanted to. Or just sit on a Vermilion. It really depends what they're doing. But either way, you're potentially slowing your opponent down too. Okay. Normally our opponent will not be that Pepega. Dark's effect will trigger. Ignore that. Just focus the plays we're making. Alright. Here's what we are going to do. I'm going to activate Roar here. And we're going to grab Duel. Now we have a culmination of 3 lights and darks. So we do have Levianeer as an option. So because we banished the combination of light and dark, we will be popping. Confirm. Also, if they have a Spirit Dragon on the field and they refuse to take it out, they will not be able to use its effect. And that is because, how should I say this? They can't use Spirit Dragon's effect because Azure Eyes will revolve in a different chain. So if they summon Azure Eyes will not have a chance to activate. So we're just going to make a Sanafod here. We're not done. Next, we're going to summon a Lupine. Nope. Well, I didn't mean to do that, but that was not intended. But it's fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to activate our skill. Level duplication. Going to reveal level. Going to reveal Hawk in the hand to make a Lupine a 6. Activate, summon the Roar. We're going to exceed Shogun into a Plotomy. And activate Plotomy. Detach. And we'll put a Roar back into her hand. But we're not done. Well, actually, yeah, we kind of are, but why not overlay into a Gaia? For extra BM. Very cool. Enter battle. And we're good. We could also use Sanafod's effect there, but we'd already win. Now we're going to go second one more time just to show you some second turn plays. Okay. I opened up a really good first turn hand, so I'm just going to do this to show it to you. Alright, so we'll let him do his thing. Okay, so it's my turn. Alright, so here's what you're going to do. When you open up Roar in Dark with a Lupine, option the Dark first. So this is what I like to do going turn 1 against Noble Knights. I like to go Dark in the Roar. And then I like to special summon a level 6, add a Hawk. We're going to level dupe it up. Reveal. Target the Lupine. And then we're going to exceed Shogun into a Force Focus. Hawk it up. So turn 1 against Nobles. This is a good play. You don't even necessarily need to use Hawk, but you can. Okay. So we'll let him go. And you have Levineer as a follow-up. Okay, that's fine. We'll detach and negate. So he kills, we will float into Dragon Hawk. We know he can't get over us, so we'll just take a Hawk back to the hand. And then we just levy. Alright. So that is the Thunder Dragon tutorial. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you are not followed to me on Twitch, do so. I do cock climbs, tournaments. I play in them. I also do Point Battle Do Rooms and KC Cup prep. Alright, I stream that. So make sure you do that. I stream those KC Cups. So, until next time, Till Matre, signing out.